Hey everyone, welcome back to Persona 5X video. In today's video, I'm just going to be going over one of the new characters coming out tomorrow, Vino. So Vino is a very good single target debuffer on TWCN right now. She's basically best in slot and all the way until Howard came out, where Howard took prominency over her. But Vino is a wonderful character, and you would definitely want to pull a little bit on Makoto banner just to try and get her, because she is that big for any sort of single target. She as well has some AoE capability with her second ability. But her biggest things is her, of course, her skill 1 and skill 3. But basically, all she is she works well off of doing elemental ailments. So inflicting elemental ailments. So those are meaning the fire, the wind, lightning, as well as the frost or freeze, what do you want to call it. That's what she does. She inflicts elemental ailments. And one of the best things she does is it's a new random elemental ailment. So any of those people, which I know a lot of people are looking for Makoto, you'll definitely going to want to be also using Vino with her, because Makoto actually scales off of having elemental ailments. So the fact that Vino gives a lot of elemental ailments, it's a very nice. As well as a damage taken increase. But first things first, I want to quickly look at her awarenesses. When inflicting elemental ailments, inflict the foe with radiation. And what radiation does is increases damage taken by 15% for 2 turns. And it's seen as a elemental ailment. So very nice. And then most of us will eventually get A6 Vino. But the rest of it is really just like her A1's nice. When radiation is present, foes with burn or basically any of the elements, it then increases the elemental damage done. So A1 actually does help out a lot with any sort of fire team, single target, with the wind, blah blah, etc. So very nice. A3 is just increased elemental element accuracy, so EHR, effect hit rate. That's what she scales off of. Highlight. Then A6. When allies attack foes with radiation, triggers the following 3 effects based on how many elemental elements they have. 1 or higher, increases attack by 10%. 2 or higher, increases nuke damage by 10%. And then 3 or higher, straight up gives you 10% pierce. So a very nice little boost to upgrade. So very nice. And we'll eventually all of us will get A6 as long as we play the game. Then go looking at her hitting abilities. In battle, increases attack bonus based on a percentage of ailment accuracy or effect hit rate if you play other games. Honkai Star Rail. So she scales off of running elemental ailment accuracy. So her whole thing scales off that, which is very nice. Because the more ailment accuracy, the higher chance you have to inflict with your elemental ailments from this, like skill 1 and skill 3. And then Eagle Eye, foes with radiation increases nuke damage taken by 15%. So hopefully you guys are kind of seeing that Vino's whole thing is basically built around supporting Makoto, but that's not all she can do. Like, yes, this only works with the nuke damage done. So it can only work with either wonders using a nuke damage source, which you will be using with Muten, or if you have Makoto, or she can increase her own damage. But just with the fact that she can right here decrease the target's defense based off of the own, so up to 37.3%. This is at level 8 out of 10. And as well as there's a 100% base chance to inflict a foe with a new random elemental ailment. All you're looking for is ailment accuracy. And then skill 3. Every 1 elemental ailment on the target, inflict 1 stack of damage taken based on a percentage of the elemental element up to 19.1%. And it stacks up to 3 times. So very nice. So if you have 3 elemental ailments, which is very easy with hopefully you guys can see, it's very easy for her to do that. And then all of a sudden they're taking an extra 60% damage. Very nice. Her highlights right here, the biggest thing, the reason why we want it to be like it is because it has a chance to inflict 2 random new elemental ailments. So very nice with that. So everything kind of works. Her kit works very well with it. Like it works very well. Like each ability works very well. And the last one is she actually has a AoE chance as well. And even though it's only a 40% base chance, with the amount of ailment accuracy you're going to be building on her, because that's all you want on her, is ailment accuracy. And each one has a random chance to gain a new element. So I'm hoping you guys can kind of see like how kind of nutty she can be. Have defense down, she has damage taken increase, as well as applying all the elemental elements, such as wind slip, burn, freeze, shock. Shock just straight up makes it so that they have a higher chance to be crit, so very nice. So all of it works well with each other. And then off of just the radiation effect she gives as well, for just an additional damage taken increase. And she's also pretty easy to build. And if we look here, so I have a few sets. The current set I'm using is just because I didn't want, when I first started playing this account, I didn't want to make the nuke one, because I basically used Vino for the what is it called, Velvet Trials of the nuclear winter. That's the whole reason why I have her on power. I wouldn't recommend using power, but it's honestly not horrible, because it does give her attack increase at least. But also, if you run her with Harmony, increases damage bonus by 10% for all allies with the same element. So it's just really, I'm using it because of the, you'll be using this for the 10% damage increase from Makoto. But I wouldn't recommend using this. The set I would recommend that I haven't built on this account yet is actually this set right here. It is the control. It's a control set with Departure. Because what this set does is, if I look at it, the one increases HP by 12%, not that big, but with how squishy the Vino Makoto team is, the 12% HP is actually kind of nice. The 4 set doesn't really matter. It's mostly due to the Departure control set. Decreases main target's defense by 23% for 2 turns after attacking them with a skill. So even more defense decrease. So with the fact that Vino's whole thing is working off of being a debuffer, and she already has defense decrease in her kit, having even more, it's like Shun. This set is the Shun set, or the key set, and you can just run this set on them too. And like I said, she's very easy to build, because all she needs is element accuracy for the most part and some speed. And then all you're looking at her doing is surviving, just making sure that she survives. Even with the HP, that's actually a bonus for her. It helps her survive. Another set you can run on her is the Prosperity set. And if I look at it, so decreases damage taken, because like I said, their team is very, very squishy with the Makoto and Vino. And then also gives you 25% starting highlight. And then also increases all allies damage dealt by 8% for 1 turn when attacking foes. So not a bad set at all. I would say I would rather run the control set. And then of course the last one we can run is the Truth and Harmony. So increases nuke damage done and deal 30% attack damage to the main target if the foe is afflicted with elemental ailment, which they always will be. And then lastly, with the Harmony and Truth, increases all allies nuke damage by 5% for 2 turns. When inflicting elemental ailments, stacks are spent separately. But these are the 3 I would recommend, with the control set being the most important in my opinion. Then if what I'm looking at, all I'm really looking at for the main, so this one is always HP. Fix that real quick. The main set is always HP. And then the second one, you can either use attack percent or you can use HP percent. This one you absolutely want to use element accuracy, only element accuracy. And then this one you can either use attack, HP, or speed. Because you do want her to go fairly fast. So you can start stacking up her element accuracy stacks as soon as possible. So you can increase your team's damage by a lot more. So speed is not bad to have on her either. But for the most part, like I said, all you're looking at for it is element accuracy. You want element accuracy on every piece. I know this piece doesn't have it, but I just don't have. I haven't built the set on my TW account because I haven't used Vino for this purpose, because I've had Howler for so long. I started the game with Howler and on, so I haven't really used Vino outside of the Sea of Souls, unfortunately, because I made my account during the anniversary. Because I've made about 4 accounts on TW over the last year. And then, like I said, element accuracy, and then speed. Basically, HP, speed, attack, element accuracy. Those are the only ones you need. But main focus is the element accuracy. All you care about is element accuracy. Her entire kit is scaled upon element accuracy. And I'll highlight this once again. She doesn't really need attack because of the fact that right here, the perfect timing, aim battle increases attack bonus based on 45% of element accuracy. And then she scales, so she scales very, very well with element accuracy. That's all you need. And then her 4-star weapon, I will say her 5-star weapon is very, very nice. If you can get it, I would definitely recommend putting, if you go for weapons, put Vino's 5-star weapon as one of the secondary ones. If you as one of your 50/50 losses. But just a attack increase, but it decreases defense for foes with elemental element by 9.6%. If they have radiation, additionally decrease the defense by. So just basically a 20% defense decrease. While her 5-star, if I pull it up right over here, right here, increases element accuracy. So the fact that it gives her element accuracy, which is huge. And then after inflicting elemental ailments to foes, decrease the defense by 33%. So additional 13% defense decrease right there. At the start of every 2 turns, there's an 80% base chance to inflict a random foe for random element ailment. So very nice. Her 5-star weapon is a huge upgrade for her, I will say. And I would highly suggest, if you're pulling Makoto tomorrow, you want to put it as one of your lost 50/50s. So I'm going to show you this right now. I would definitely advise putting it down for her. So right there, Jolting Pulse. And then whatever. I would highly recommend it. It is a very nice upgrade, and you're going to be using Vino for a lot in the future. All right, and then the last thing I want to be talking about is I just want to quickly go back to her skill. Quickly, and she is a very simple character to use. Because when you're in a single target fight, all you're doing is you're using skill 1 into skill 3. Skill 1 into skill 3. And that's because this has a chance to inflict foes with a new random element to element, while this one doesn't. And this one scales off of how many elemental elements you have. So you always want to do skill 1 into skill 3. And if it's AoE, then of course you use skill 2. But then using skill 3 when you're focusing more on like the one that tank your boss monster. But specifically, we use her for right now. Vino is going to be our main single target debuffer. So skill 1 and skill 3. While if we're looking at more of an AoE situation, we're going to be looking at using Rin. Because Rin is all about the AoE. These 2 skills are AoE based, and you definitely would use them. So Rin is right now is going to be my AoE debuffer, while Vino is going to be more primarily for my single target, which is not too bad. So she's going to work well with people like, of course, Makoto, but also any sort of single target. So if you have Yui, for example, I know right now it's people recommend to use Soy, but once Vino comes out, we're actually going to be replacing Soy with Yui. We're going to be using it will be Yui, Vino with Closer is what the new team's going to be. So I would absolutely use Vino with her, because Vino is going to be a better single target debuffer for her. If you have in the future, so Makoto, of course you're going to use Vino with Makoto. You have to, like, no ifs, ands, or buts. You can use her with Makoto Yuki in the future, but if you don't have Howler, you can use her with, who are some other single target? Oh, I use her a lot with Kasumi when I pull Kasumi during the Annie. So those are a lot of different options you can use with her. And I would highly recommend, if you get Vino tomorrow or throughout the patch, make sure to build her and use her. She's going to boost your damage by a lot. But with that, I want to end the video here. I hope you guys have a good day, good night, and I'll talk to you guys soon. And I hope you guys enjoy. Good luck on your Makoto pulls.